How you want to be described, what feeling you want people to have when they come around you. How do you want to show off for your brand? What do you even want your brand to look like? Hello and welcome to another episode of the Own Your Brand Show. I'm your girl, Victoria Odekomaya, and today I'm going to be breaking down what I think is the number one thing you need to be doing in order to build a bankable personal brand. Look, you know how they say that a confused mind do not buy? That is totally true, not only for the consumer, but also for you as a business owner. If you have no idea what your brand would look like, what you want your brand to look like, you are unsure, you are unclear, that means the people that you're trying to show off for would also be confused. Think about it. If you don't know where you're going, there is no way you can give other people directions. As business owners building brands, we are kind of like leaders, right? We're trying to show people the way, meaning the solutions that we're bringing to the problems that they have. But if you don't even know what that looks like, then people don't even know if you can solve their problems. So I'll tell you a story about how I started and why I think this is really important, and the number one reason for you to do before, in order to create a strong personal brand. When I was in corporate America, I've been there for 17 years. I knew that I wanted to, at some point, transition into, owning my own business. As a scientist, I think I have that natural flair for just experimenting, having a potential outcome of what I'm trying to, what I'm working towards. And that's the same thing that I applied in my business as well. I sat down with a mentor really and just kind of envisioning what I wanted my business to look like at the end of my first year. There are certain things that I needed to happen. For instance, I wanted to be able to replace my income at the very minimum of what I made in my corporate job. But beyond the income, I also wanted to be known as a luxurious photographer, a luxurious brand photographer specifically. So I didn't spend time publicizing that I did portrait work or event work. I was strictly speaking with people that needed brand photography. The other thing was that I also wanted to have a gala at the end of the year and also create a magazine where I featured and showcased the ladies that I photographed. I also knew how many women that I wanted to photograph. And because of all this work that I did ahead of time, I was beginning to find that the theme was that I wanted to provide a luxury experience for women in my local community where we would come back together at the end of the year and celebrate. And in our celebration, also create an opportunity to raise awareness and funds for a local nonprofit organization. So that was kind of like the idea of what I was rolling with. I wasn't quite sure how it's going to all pan out, but I knew that it was important for me to be known and seen as a luxury brand photographer, specifically luxury and brand photographer. So with that being said, I imagined what the gala would look like and what my magazine would look like, and I got to work. When I tell you that it was effortless in the sense that because I knew I had an idea, a pretty good idea of what I wanted at the end of the year, what I wanted it to look like, it guided who I spoke to, how I spoke to people, how I described my work, how I presented myself, how I showed up on social media. Everything was just oozing out luxury. It helped me know what kind of content to even create because I knew with a good sense of clarity what I wanted to create. I'll tell you, celebrities do this all of the time. When they finish creating a movie or what have you, their job is to promote the video or the movie so that they can get a certain amount of eyeballs or maybe some income revenue from that movie. So they do a series of PR work. But the important thing to note here is that they already have an idea of a target that they're trying to reach. So because of their target, they know where to go to, where and where to show up. Some of the times even what they wear, because that's going to drive the conversation. Some of the hashtags or some of the, things that they do on social media. All of that, it doesn't happen by chance. It's all thought out or planned, at least to a certain level. Obviously, there are times where, opportunities meet luck and things like that. And obviously you go viral and things happen. But the most important thing here I'm trying to drive home is that you have to have a clear blueprint of what you're trying to create. If you don't know where you're going, there's no way you can bring others along with you. So with that being said, one of the things, again, like I said earlier, is that you really need to have a good clarity on where you are going. So because this podcast is about giving you actionable steps, I am going to give you an homework, which I hope that you will take some time to do. I want you to take a moment and think about where you would like your business to be in the next so time. For you, it could be 3 months, or it could be 6 months, or a year, or maybe 5 years. Just take a moment to write that down and be as clear as possible. This is no different from having a vision board. If you have to go on social media, go on the internet and get clips or photos to create that vision board, do that for yourself. Because what that does for you is to help you get clarity on what you want to be known as, how you want to be described, what feeling you want people to have when they come around you. How do you want to show up for your brand? What do you even want your brand to look like, at the end of that time period that you've set for yourself? When you have that clarity, it makes content creation, it makes marketing, it makes messaging, it makes knowing your target audience, it makes selling easy. So do it for yourself today and take a moment to write down, where do I see my brand in the next few months, in the next few years? How do you want people to describe you? What words do you want them to use to describe you? How do you want them to feel when you're around or when you are not around? These are all the things you need to have clarity on. You can even take it as far as, how much money do you want to have in your bank account? I'm a numbers girl, so that makes a lot of sense to me. So do whatever is helpful for you to get that clarity on where and how you want your personal brand to shine. So that way it's easy for you to build a bankable personal brand. If this is something you need help with, I would love to have a conversation with you. I am rolling out the Bankable Personal Brand Blueprint. This is a worksheet, it's a 2-page worksheet that would help you ask all the right questions to help you get clarity on where you want your brand to be. It is possible for you and I to create a bankable personal brand. I mean, a brand that is effortlessly brings and draws our target audience to us. But it's important for us to know what that looks like first, so that when we start taking action, we are taking intentional actions to meet our goals. So if this is something that you're interested in, Bankable Personal Brand Blueprint, please use the link below to reach out to me or DM me, and I would love to put this in your hand. It's a completely free workbook that I want to give to you to help you ask all the right questions to help you envision where you see your personal brand in the next 3 to 6 to 1 year time. Until next time, make sure you keep owning your brand and doing all of the work you need to do to show up for yourself.